Welcome to the Swing Trading with Cycles channel. We're going to do our weekend update on natural gas. And we did our video earlier. It's Saturday. We did not close above the high from last week. This is your weekly chart on natural gas. If you're new to the channel, welcome. Definitely take a look at the pin tweet. Get caught up. Past videos, other asset classes. Make sure you understand swing lows, swing highs, those key price action signals. And speaking of swing lows and swing highs, the idea is that we're looking for this to potentially become a swing low on the weekly chart, this candle here on the week. And so all this needs to do next week is close above the high of this week here, this candle, which is 2.587. Really simple, actually, really simple. You couldn't have a simpler setup here. Doesn't mean it's going to do it. Let's see. And we'll look at those equivalent levels for Boyle and UNG for sure. So we're looking for something like this, and that will make this a swing low. And as we talked about in previous video, if you look at the 2-week chart, it's a little bit of a cheat code. It's a way of getting yourself a little bit of a preview as to the monthly candle. And you can see this bad boy wants to go green. It has not. It did not get to go green. But again, this candle closed. These are 2-week candles. So every candle here is 2 weeks of price action. And you can see this was blood red, just like all the other ones. And it reversed massively. It closed. So we're going to start a new 2-week candle next week. And very possible we get something like that. So not only do we get a swing low on the weekly chart, but we get a swing low on the 2-week chart. Very bullish. Of course, we are just speculating here. We have to see if that's what we actually get. Most importantly, on the daily chart, clear close above the 10-day moving average. This is as recognizable as a daily cycle low as you're going to get. That's on day 52. Now, that sets up the very good likelihood that this is a weekly cycle low as well. Again, does need to get above 2.587 to make that the case. And that's natural gas itself. If we look at the lower time frames, you can just see like really beautiful action here. This is your hourly chart. You can see that this is where the bottom happened, and it actually took like 4 candles. I mean, look at that, just kind of scraping. Wait, actually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 candles, just kind of scraping along the bottom, and then kind of a rocket ship up. This is your proverbial back test that held, right? This is your higher low. We move up. And then we make another higher low. We move up. And so wouldn't be surprised to get a back test to that 240 area, which we'll see what that equivalent level will be in Boyle and UNG. So let's skip over to those right now as we speak. So Boyle looking good here. 3 green candles in a row. Boyle had a swing low before natural gas did. This is day 3 of a new daily cycle for Boyle. And it's basically the same count as natural gas. And again, you can see this blue line here is your 10-day moving average. We've closed above it. And we've talked about this before. Important note, if this is a weekly cycle low, then it means we're going to cross above the 10-day moving average at some point. Let's just make sure we set that 10. So there it is. So this massively sloping lower line here. So right now this thing is, wow, this thing is at $11. And we're down here, where did we close? 596. So it'd be almost a double up to get back to that. And let's see, what about natural gas itself? Where is that 10-week moving average, just for reference? Right, so for natural gas itself, it's right around, like, call it 320 in that neighborhood. And we're down here at 260, less than 260. So that gives you a good sense of like the potential upside. And for Boyle, again, did not get to that 662 level, which would have given us a bullish outside weekly candle, but still setting up for a weekly swing low next week. This is about as easy a setup as you're going to get, I'll say. And most importantly, if you start to think about the bigger picture, we're going to only have a couple of days trading next week to close out the February candle. So maybe this thing doesn't get back to green. It would have to go above $6.93. That's the opening price. But that doesn't even matter because what we're really thinking about is a March candle, right? Like, can it do something like that, right? That's what we'd be looking for. Getting above the high of this candle, boom. That gives you a monthly swing low. Now be aware, it could be a temporary monthly swing low that ends up failing, doesn't even make it to the end of March. You've got to be nimble. You got to be make sure you have your kind of head on the swivel, but you have to be aware of this kind of price action, and that would be making a move for here, which would get us back to like 1573. I know a lot of people are in the hole and would love to see the sort of mid-teens to get back to even. I'm not saying we're definitely getting there, but this gives you a path to getting there, and you can obviously play the price action as it rolls in. And if we look at UNG, same kind of levels, right? So for UNG, the really bull case would be getting back to 1341, the high of this candle here. Again, same kind of drill next month. So starting next week, really, we'll start March. I think it's Wednesday. It might be. If we can get above there, that's your week. That's your monthly swing low. Off to the races. It is. And same kind of pattern here, right? 3 days up, all higher highs, right? This is a higher high than that. This is a higher high than that, and this is a higher high than that. Closes above the 10-day moving average. We're in business, it would seem, folks. And this is how, if you want to take a chance at something, this is how you gauge that, right? You have a swing low beneath you versus just buying on the way down like this, quote unquote, averaging down. Very, very dangerous stuff. So that's the lay of the land there. I guess we'll actually take a quick peek at gold because we always want to just kind of confirm the bearishness, if you will, right? Like, let's get rid of some of these lines. That makes it kind of hard to see, doesn't it? So we're seeing really the same pattern, right? 3 days down, the same way we have 3 days up, right? It just closed below the 10-day moving average, just like it just closed above the 10-day moving average. All positive signs. Where's the 50? So the 50-day moving average is down here, like around 45. Let's see, what does that actually correspond to for oil on the upside? That's around $13. This could get really interesting over the next couple weeks because this does appear to be a daily cycle low. So it's a question of how much of a rally do we get, right? This last most recognizable daily cycle low rallied 68%, and this has rallied only 36%. So if we rallied more like 68, that get us back to like 7, which would make sense. Structurally speaking, that'd be right where you would expect it to kind of roll over. Like if it were gonna, like that's about as bullish as you would expect it to get if it were gonna end up rolling over. So that's gonna be interesting to watch. Yet still a decent amount of upside from here, obviously. But again, you want to be nimble. Make sure you don't get caught in the downdraft as it comes down. So definitely, I'll be giving updates on Twitter. So make sure you're following. Take a look at for a link in the description if you're not already. But it looks like we have a little rally on our hands. You know, we're already up about 35%. Maybe get a little bit of a retrace to sort of catch its breath. And then, you know, maybe we get that 65% move from here, which obviously could be a nice little bit of upside, even if we're going to roll over into something more bearish. So that's all for the natural gas update. Thanks for watching.